Right, hello everyone. So this was very short notice. Been preoccupied with other things all week. So anyway, this is Creator in Residence number stream. Number stream? This is Creator in
11.
Residence stream number 11.
Yes.
And today, well, last week we took a look at Retopology in 3D Studio Max. So this week we're going to have a look at the same sort of thing but using Marvelous Designer. So if you don't have 3D Studio Max or you're not comfortable with any other sort of 3D app, so to speak, it can be done, so I'm told, in Marvelous Designer. So Kuroi is going to tell us all about Retopology in Marvelous.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good to see you again. And as jazzKat just said, yes, we are going to try to retopologize in Marvel's Designer. Um, and last time, yeah, we looked in how it looks in 3D Studio Max. So as you saw, if not, just refer to the previous video. It can be tedious work, right?
Yes.
So you have to keep in mind that creating a mesh is not everything. You should also focus on the topology, the entire geometry of the mesh you create. Is it a dress, skirt, or a t-shirt? Doesn't matter. It should have a proper topology. And as we know, Marvel Designer is great at creating or meshing garment, but the topology is sometimes awful, right?
Yes.
As you
Bleh.
probably
Yeah,
saw.
very
I
much
mean,
so.
this topology is nice, but when we have this edges or this areas that we are sewing them together, we have quite jaggy or triangulated topology. And as you know, we always try to get rid of the triangles and create squared or um, quadrangulate the mesh. All right, so yes, there is a tool that you can use, or a feature that you can use in Marvel Designer to create new topology based on your already created mesh. So I already opened one of my meshes in Marvel Designer. This is a just simple t-shirt, but I applied particle distance 10, right? Because there are few reasons to create new topology based on this one. First of them is you can create high poly mesh with all the details, wrinkles, and so on. And based on this mesh, you create a low poly mesh, and you can export them right to, let's say, 3D Studio or Substance Painter, and create textures based on high poly mesh, and import the textures from high poly mesh to low poly mesh that is going to be used on IMVU. So okay, so let's just make an introduction to the tool. If you go here in 2D pattern window, of course you can use 3D pattern as well, but I think it's better to create, I mean, for me, of course, it's better to create this in 2D pattern window. So we have three tools. Um, Two of them work the same. So edit topology and create topology is just creating topology, and patch topology is something different, and it has been introduced in Marvel Designer 11. I think that was the first version of patch topology, and it's very helpful. But we will start maybe from create topology. So click on create topology, and as you can see, we can go through all of those patterns, and I will just highlight. So let's start maybe with the front panel. So you just click somewhere, as you can see, you can just manually draw a topology. So let's just try to draw maybe something
Ah,
like
you
this,
do it
right?
on the pattern.
Yes,
Can you
but
can
as
you
you
do
can
it on
see,
the?
it appears. Yes, you can do this on 3D pattern, as you can
Ah,
see. You can use either, right?
uh-huh.
This one is flat area,
Yeah.
so I think it's better to cover here. But if you have like some maybe wrinkles, folds, you
Yeah.
can of course go here and do detailed work. And you can of course repeat the steps like this. And this is advantage of this tool is that it won't go beyond this
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
as you can see,
Yeah. So
I'm
you
trying
locked.
to go there.
Yeah. You locked the
So
boundary. Yeah.
yep, so it you won't be in trouble, you won't go too far. So you can do this by hand, of course. Oh, and keep that in mind, that it's gonna create only triangles or squares. So if you want to create something with, let's say, five um, vertices or five edges,
Yeah. So an
it
N
won't,
gone. Yeah.
yeah, it won't work. So you need to have a square or a triangle.
Right.
That's very important because, well, that's the reason of topology, right?
Mm.
So you have you can triangulate or quadrangulate. Yeah, so you can use those tools, and well, you can create an entire topology by hand, but there is a better solution for this one. Let's oh, maybe before I go to another tool, I would try to show you something different. You can, let's say, do something like this, right? Create huge um, square or rectangle in this case,
Yeah.
and hold Shift and Control on your keyboard. You can see now
Oh.
you can divide this topology,
So it's a loop
this
cut.
rectangle. You can cut this into smaller pieces. Let's say you can cut it in rows and columns,
Oh, nice.
as you can see, and of course it appears here in 3D view. And it's faster way, right?
Mm.
Of course, it's not that detailed, but if you have just plain areas, so you can just cover them with just clicking. And then if you want to focus on some area, you can do the rest by hand. All right, so let's quickly jump to another tool, because as you can see, well, creating topology in Marvel's Designer is quite limited, but you can create quite nice topology. Okay, I will just undo the changes and go to the next tool, patch topology. So patch topology is something that you create patches of topology. So let me just show you how it works. Let's just start here. And before we continue, I will just make it one line. And you can see subdivisions, right? So let's just increase subdivisions to maybe 6. All right, so as you can see, it creates 6 points on my lines, right? And when I connect everything to create a square or rectangle, it will automatically create
Mm.
topology, but this topology is not approved yet because you can change it anytime. You can click on this line because we don't have any points here.
Mm.
You can increase subdivision here, as you can see. The changes are applying on
Huh.
your screen, and you have even topology here. And if you are satisfied with this one, just click create. Or if you want to have you want to change something, click clear. I will try to cover entire panel and then apply this one. All right, as you can see, it nicely covers here, but we have some problems, so we can increase this one to 7. And well, it looks better now. So we should have denser topology. And how many edges do we have? Is it enough? No, it's not enough. I mean, it's too much. So let's just cover this part. It should be working. 1, 2, and is it gonna cover what? Okay, we have to create this one. Let's go with like this. Yeah.
Oh.
So you have to apply the changes. I wanted to create everything without applying
Yes.
changes,
Yeah.
but
So you're going to either have to do it all in one session, so to speak, or
yeah,
you do it in
as you can
parts.
see, invalid patch. So you can of course change, increase subdivision points or decrease them. We have 3, so let's go with 3 here. Okay, yeah, it looks better now, right? So create again, and let's just cover another portion. All right, and we should increase. Oh, it's what? 1 second, I have to repeat the step. Sometimes you have to repeat the steps a few times just to find the golden spot, right? To be. Oh, I create. Come on, clear this. Can I clear this? All right. Let me just undo. And as you can see, we have problems here. So it doesn't always work like we want to, right? So let's just reduce the number of points to 3. And we have here 1, 2, 3. All right. That should be fine.
It's the side that's
Yeah, this is too much, I think.
yeah. It's
But
just you've
but
got
I
one.
I will leave it. I will try to leave it like it is. I will
Mm,
show you why in a second. Let's just create some jaggy areas
mm-hmm.
because we don't want to finish the tutorial too fast. Okay,
No.
so we just created the topology, and you want to, as you can see, you need to make changes here. So you can just go to edit topology. As you can see, you can always move vertices by hand, right? Or you can move edges, or you can move entire faces. So you can also let's select one point, and oh, it was here. So let's go here, select 2 points. So hold shift, right click, and you have something like merge. You can of course delete them, but let's merge them. As you can see, it merges them in the middle. So you can merge 2 points of topology or 2 vertices. You can, of course, do something like if you have not enough geometry here, you can right click and add division. As you can see, it just subdivides entire topology.
Mm,
All right, so maybe it's too much, so let's undo the change. We are creating low poly mesh based on high poly mesh, right? And as you can see, we have some points here, right? So those are ghost points of the topology from the uh, other patterns,
yeah.
other
So they
plannings.
correspond. So those correspond to the points, the vertex points on
Yes.
the
So
mesh that
when you
you.
just Mhm. when you just want to continue creating topology, you can refer to those points. Let's say like this. I think we don't have enough topology here, so we have to increase the numbers. I just quickly add 6 because I think it was 6 here. Yes, so not enough. And 6 here. And we should add 6. As you can see, you can add or subtract at any point
Mm,
as long as you don't click on create button. So let's just click create. And as you can see, we have created the back panel, at least part of the panel over here. And of course, you can repeat, finish entire t-shirt. And maybe we should do this because I want to show you something. So let's go to patch topology. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Points. So let's do this. And okay, let's create this one. We have 4 points, so we will just uh, correct this in a second. And let's reduce the number to 4. All right. And maybe, can we try to do? Yes, we can. Okay, let's just click on create. And now we just have to manually edit the topology by hand. Or you can, of course, remove some points if you have too many of them. Or let's just maybe select this group of vertices and merge. And maybe I can merge this one. So this is quite advanced technique, right? You have to have some knowledge of how topologies should look like.
Mm.
It's not just automated by clicking one button like in 3D Studio Max 2021 or above,
Mm.
like in previous video, right? So you have to just go through all those polygons. And the more advanced, the more complicated shape, well, the more work you have to do, right? So it's time consuming. So maybe we can go with this one without the sleeves. Okay, let me just clear this just a bit. I guess it doesn't have to be that correct because we are not going to export this one. Let's just merge those points. And yeah, we have too many points here. So let's just merge them and merge. All right. Okay, 1 point and another
Oh,
point
I
here.
see. Yeah, I thought that that looked like because of the brightness of. I'm going to use the pen. Well, hey, because of the brightness of the background, that looked as if when you had the two vertices,
Hmm.
it looked as though the face had folded back on itself.
Yes, yes. So you have to just
Mm.
pay attention
Yeah,
that what topology you create, right? So
yeah,
it always should be. Oh, as you can see, we have here unused
yeah,
vertex. So you can delete this one, but you will
yeah,
remove the topology. So try to merge those vertices, and it should do the job. And of course, keep those ghost points in mind. So always follow them. And we have too many vertices here. So merge one more time, and they will automatically snap to the point, as you can see. So it will just guide you, right? All right, one more time. And I think, is
So
there a bug
pause
here?
for a second.
Yep.
So on this corner, you should see a slight delay in the pen. So I'm guessing that it's able to do this section relatively easily in this bottom bit because they're relatively straight lines, but
Hmm.
you'd need to put additional vertices where you
You
have
meant,
shapes that are a bit more convex, concave.
hmm you mean this one, right?
Yes.
Because I don't see anything, unfortunately, on the screen. Close. I don't see your
Oh, don't
drawing.
you see the pen? Oh,
No,
that's a
no,
shame.
unfortunately not. But you can also go, when you just finish your topology, go to create topology, and let me just go here. And you can hold shift and control, like I said before,
Yeah,
and add points here, right?
yeah,
And the more you add them, they will just make the smooth corner or smooth
yes,
edge.
yeah.
And you can repeat the step here.
But obviously that
And
then means that you create more problems because you've added
yeah,
more
you can of
topology.
course, you can merge them, right?
Yeah,
So that's another well, tedious job
yeah.
for graphic designers, but oh well. And of course, um, as I said, I try to avoid those triangles, but well, sometimes it's not impossible, but sometimes it's hard, right, to avoid
Yes. Yeah.
triangles. Let's just return. But well, I'm just trying to show you how can you make your work easier and make your mesh look better when you export this one, let's say, to Blender or 3D Studio, right? I think it's easier to create new topology here in Marvel's Designer, even though it's limited. It doesn't have such features like 3D Studio Max. Well, you
Yeah.
can do this right here.
Yeah.
So it's gonna help you a bit, and I assume that the newest version in the future, of course, of Marvel's Designer will have those features improved or maybe added some better features. All right. So if you are satisfied with your, let's say, topology here, you can also right click and remesh all or remesh all replace. So you can duplicate this one or you can replace everything. When you click on replace, let me just save the file. I don't want to start from scratch if something bad happens.
Yes.
And it might, as you,
Infamous crash. Yeah.
yeah, if you saw our videos, it happens. So let's just click remesh all replace. Okay, some points. Okay, it
So
can't
you've what?
create.
38,
Okay, some points
39.
are crossed. So we have to just fix this before we continue. I probably we have problems here
Yeah.
because I created too dense topology. So let's go to edit this one, and maybe we should merge those in one place. I think it's crossed somewhere here as well. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did
Can
it
I?
crash?
It crashed. Okay. So as you saw, okay. Oh my, what's that?
Whilst it's doing that, can you see in your toolbar at the bottom there the Slack toolbar on the
Yeah, I have this one.
draw together? Is that active? So if I
Uh,
draw on screen, oh, you can't see. I can't draw now. So if you disable that and disable
maybe.
draw, so if
Yeah.
I draw on screen, can you see that?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, dagnabbit.
Let me try. Oh, not this one. Oh, I can't do this. Yeah. Oh, let me open Marvelous one more time.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Is it gonna?
Uh-oh.
What? Okay.
Have we
I
broken it?
can't. I can't do anything.
Oh, it might be the tool that's enabled. The Slack tool.
Okay. Yeah, it works. I had to
Okay.
just relog in.
Oh, okay.
Does it? Okay. It should work now. Come on. Mm,
It might be the Slack tool that
probably.
if you click the button withdraw on it,
Yeah. 1 second. Yes.
draw. Now try interfacing.
Yes. It works. Okay. So it was Slack was preventing
Yes,
us
yeah. That's
to
weird.
just
Yeah.
log in to Marvel's Designer. That's weird, right?
Yeah, very. Well, I mean, I suppose the draw tool disables your ability to move, interact with the things that are on screen, whilst you're actually
Mm-hmm.
working, so you can draw.
Yeah. It's probably that's the reason. All right. So can we open this one again? Project and it was this project. Okay, we have the topology. I'd like to edit. Maybe let's go and remove some topology from this. I don't want this topology. I mean, that's the drawback of this. I can't just go and select everything, right? I can just delete points or merge all. Can I merge all? No.
Can't you just select the top section and
No,
redo it?
unfortunately not. When you apply it, you will have to just do everything by hand.
So you
There
can't
is
select the points and delete the points.
I can delete the points by hand, but I will have to just go one by one like this.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so our entire faces, but it won't remove that point. So that's the drawback, right, of this
Right.
one.
Okay.
I think. Oh, is it? Oh, it's working when I press Control. Okay, I
Yes.
discovered this one.
Yay! We discovered
All
something
right,
new.
that's good one. Yeah. So remember, press Control if you want to um,
Box
okay,
select.
box select exactly. Okay, so let's go and try to correct those points with ghost points or ghost vertices. That's a nice name, ghost vertices. Merge. And I think the bottom part is correct. Well, let's say correct. Let's just try to finish topology for this one. It should be able to create. Oh, I have to add something. My mistake. So I will just add this. I will try to add this like. Okay. And this point already exists, so I can't go with this topology. So I have to just create something like this. So if you have something like this, you can always go lower. You don't have to make
Mm.
a triangle, right?
Mm.
And here, to avoid triangles, you can make the topology a bit denser, right?
Mm.
You could split this one as well. I mean, of course, the curve elements uh, will create a denser topology, as you can see.
Yeah. So as this is for as this rotopology, retopology, as this is for essentially optimization,
Hmm.
you'd want to be using the underlying avatar as your guide to how you structure your mesh.
Hmm. Yep. All right. So it would take a while to
Mm.
finish this one. So maybe can I do export this one? Let me try. And okay, it crashes again. Why does it crash?
It's
The
probably
program
just
has, we are sorry for.
yeah. I'm guessing it's probably something to do with the organization of the way that the individual vertices are organized to create the faces.
Yeah, it it can't handle this one.
No.
Okay, so I will just try to show you this the final step on just front panel. Maybe it
Yeah.
should be faster, or maybe we can start from scratch this.
Might be quicker
But
just to start from scratch.
hmm yeah, I mean it should be short tutorial, but now it's becoming longer and longer,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah, it logged me in. All right. Well, this things happen
Mm.
um, many times when you just try to create. So always save your work.
Well, didn't it crashed when we were using Macs? So it's not as if it's just Marvelous Designer that does
No,
that
it's not.
with.
No, every app crashes.
Mm.
I'm not sure how Blender works.
It would crash.
Yeah. So let's delete this one. I mean, I hope I won't have to recreate everything. So delete. Let me check something. If it crashes, I'm going to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Some points. But what's wrong with this topology? Okay. Let's start from scratch. It doesn't let us do the job. So let's go with touch topology and let's say 6. Okay. And let's go on create and well, it should be fine. I'm not sure, but we will see. Okay, I went too far. Create. All right, I will try to do something one more time. Okay, cancel this one. Okay. Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
But
so it's the
let
organization of
yeah, but
your topology.
let me undo this and go to wireframe. I will save the file. So 1 second. It's still saving.
Uh-oh.
No, it's just saving.
Oh.
It works quite slow when we are recording. I noticed that one.
All right. Okay.
Maybe that's just the, I don't know, the
Oh well,
feature of
yes, because
Mac.
it is simulating the
Mhm.
clothing as you are retopologizing it.
Yeah.
Right, yes. Yes,
All right.
that'll use up your resources.
So, two main features of when you finish remeshing. Um, sorry, remesh all, replace, or remesh all, duplicate. You can of course remesh one panel if you click on the panel, and we are just remeshing the panel. So if you click remesh replace, it will replace entire topology of this front panel.
All right.
So let's just click on it. As you can see,
Oh.
this is the copy of our topology we just created. And if I go here, it looks like this one. You can of course, where is it? Over here, and click on mesh. And as you can see, this is the topology we created, right? As you can see, it's a
Mm.
low poly
Mm.
compared to high poly back panel.
Yeah,
And
just as a note, you wouldn't necessarily do your retopology to look like that. This is just for the sake of expediency and showing the process.
yeah, of course, don't do this. Don't do this,
Yeah,
of course.
please don't do that.
It's very low poly here and
Yeah,
high poly here.
yeah.
And you have a lot of dense
Weird
areas.
shapes. Yeah, you want to
Yeah,
avoid those weird shapes.
of course. And if you create remesh, click on remesh duplicate, uh, let's just do this. And now you have two copies, right?
Oh, right.
You have high poly, so this is the previous, the original mesh,
Yeah.
the topology, and this is the low poly one we just created.
Mm.
And you have both of them here.
Mm.
So if you, let me just go here one more time. If you click hide 3D pattern, it will hide the high poly mesh and show you only the low poly mesh. As
Nice.
just Kat mentioned, don't do the low poly because, as you can see, we don't have enough geometry
Yeah.
to cover the breast areas, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, it's just for the sake of showing you
Yeah.
what can you do and well, not spending entire day, right,
Uh
doing this.
huh.
And you can export both meshes to your 3D Studio or Blender. And as I said before, you can, well, create textures based on high poly mesh and import low poly mesh to IMVU Studio. And what else can I say about this? Oh, this low poly mesh or retopologized mesh will have every uh, sewing pattern. Well, how you do how can I call it? You will have to do the sewing one more time.
Oh,
So it will just remove the sewing patterns, right? So
right.
it
Because
will remove
you've
those.
basically just created a brand new mesh.
Yes. So you will have to just create new topology. Sorry, create new sewing
Mm.
areas for this mesh. Or you can, let's say, I'm not sure how it works in Blender, but in 3D Studio Max, you can weld those vertices.
Yes.
So if you have vertices that are overlapping, you
Mm.
can weld them in
Mm.
3D Studio Max. So how does it work in Blender? I don't
Yes.
know.
It's called merge in Blender.
Merge. Okay, yeah. So I mean, in 3D Studio, you can select entire mesh, click on weld, and job done, right? You don't have to go vertex by vertex.
Oh, right. Yes, that would be if you're talking about removing additional vertices, that would be remove doubles, or
Hmm.
it's called something something by distance now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw this feature. As you know, I'm trying to learn Blender, so
Mm.
still a long way to go.
Yeah.
All right. And before we finish, one more feature. Maybe let's just open a project. Don't save this one. And I'm not sure if I have something to show you on. So this is the dress we created.
Oh, yes, the learning session, which should
On the
be available
learning
on
session.
their YouTube soon.
Yes, yes. Hopefully soon it will be available. We created such a lovely skirt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can I remove the undo? Okay. So this is the topology of dress when when you create it in Marvel Designer, right?
Yeah,
It got triangles, a lot of
it's
triangles. Let's just
triangulated. Yeah.
yeah, let's just simulate this one. Well, it behaves here quite nice, but I assume it's gonna be problematic in IMVU and IMVU Studio. And of course, imagine just waiting this race. Uh, it's not it's not good. I mean, it would be problematic, very problematic, even if you have, let's say, and let's click it, high poly version. Right? Oh, I didn't apply this one. Let me just apply. Yes. Okay. So yeah, this one. Imagine doing this one. It looks like it looks nice in Marvel's Designer, but
Yeah, it's not good for
always,
IMVU.
yeah. So when you create this in Marvel's Designer, uh, always check your. Let me just return. So you create this dress. I mean skirt. Go here and click on wireframe on surface or mesh. It's up to you. Well, I think wireframe on surface looks better. And always right click, and you have few options here, right? So quadrangulate, triangulate, or remeshing. So let's go quickly through all of those. And triangulate, well, it's the same, right? Because we
Mm.
have triangles. So let's go to quadrangulate.
Quadrangulate, our favorite word.
Yeah, it should take a while, but well, it removed all of the triangles. So we have squares everywhere. So four,
Quads. Yeah.
yeah. So as you can see, we have every face got four vertices. So one, two, three, four. Even though it doesn't look like
Yeah.
square, it's quad, right? So yeah. And let's go here. It should be, yeah. As you can see, well, sometimes it's impossible
Yeah.
to create four
I
vertices.
was just
So
about
we
to
have
say
triangles.
that's pretty neat if it's turned all of that into quads.
Hmm. Hmm. But yeah, there is another feature. If you go to remeshing, remeshed to retopology, well, you can, well, we will just jump into this in a second. Click on remesh, and now you
Oh.
probably should have almost everywhere except the edges.
Mm.
You should have squares or quads everywhere, but there might be some jaggy areas on
Mm.
the folding areas of the skirt. But you have quite, quite nice topology. Let's just reduce the
I was just
particle
about to
distance.
ask about that. Can you reduce the
Yeah. Okay.
right?
So this one is 20. You can of course go higher, and you will get the lower resolution mesh. Did it apply?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no big difference, I think, between 20 and 30.
No.
Yeah, I mean there is small difference, but you need to have some geometry, so don't go too high and don't go too low. Okay, so the final one is remeshing to retopology. So you just um, create estimate number of polygons.
A
So
thousand should be
if
okay.
let's just apply this one. As you can see, yeah, you can. Let's go lower or higher. Can we go higher?
What's
Okay,
it
yeah,
doing?
it didn't do much. I mean, I think it just tried to compute and guess how many vertices do you need. I mean, how many vertices does the skirt need?
Try a lower version.
Yeah,
Lower.
it's gonna take a entire day. Let's just type. Yeah, it doesn't do much, right?
So what is it doing then?
Probably nothing. We are trying to retopologize this one, but yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, I haven't used this one, so let's just try 5K. Okay,
It's
it's
not
gonna
doing
take a
anything.
second. It thinks. No, nothing. Yeah, it doesn't just change anything. Maybe.
So is that because it's already in quads?
Yeah, probably. Let me let me try to do something. Let's go high poly. Uh, okay, and triangulate. All right, and wow, what a nice pattern
Hmm.
of topology. Sorry,
No, it is.
I I was amazed by this one. All right, so let's go and apply these settings. Right, so 1K apply, and well, it reduced number of polygons, I guess, but
Can you see? Is that where's the statistics of
uh,
the scene? You know where you can see the number of vertices and
no, no.
or was that
Let
in
me.
Max?
Oh, in Max it's just 7, but we will need to export this one. That's remeshing to retopology, but maybe it applies to the topology that we create, right?
Hmm.
I wonder if we create. Let me try something. Okay, this is too high poly because it's gonna take days. And it should be fine. It can be on the floor. Let's go and remeshing retopology apply, and nothing changes, right?
Hmm.
So if I go to patch topology, okay, it's okay. As you can see, oh, I know what it does. It create topology here. You see
All
this?
right.
Let me just cancel this one. I'm not sure if you see this one. Let me just delete. Okay, I think I know. Uh, Let me check and if I'm correct. And patch topology. And no, it doesn't apply here. But okay, remeshing topology, apply. And if I go to topology, no, it doesn't apply the topology. No. Okay. I'm confused by this
Is
feature.
that, I wonder if that's because it's an open shape, not a closed shape. So that patch was a
M-
closed shape. That's not.
Maybe. So you think if I create this one more time like this, and okay,
Yeah, so we
so
can
this is
clearly see that there are
empty, right?
four points.
Yeah. So let's just click one more time and remeshing, and let's write, I don't know, poly count
Uh,
20,
yeah.
apply, and yes,
Yes, it
you see,
is.
it applies to the pattern because
Hmm.
uh, remeshing to retopology. So it applies this feature to retopology tool.
Hmm.
Okay, so we discovered something.
Hmm.
I didn't know about this,
Hmm.
honestly. I haven't used this one. So yeah, so you can apply then poly count here to see the result
So if
on
you
2D pattern.
drew, so if you drew your shape, you know, like the front of the t-shirt that you were doing before,
Hmm.
and then use that tool, I wonder if it would do the same thing. Because that
I
would be
mean,
a
you
closed
know,
shape.
yeah, it would be. Let me just open the t-shirt. I think I know what you want to say. Okay. And let's just remove the topology, right?
Mm.
And we have the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Let's go
And
and apply.
that's got what about a dozen points or less?
Okay, so how many points? How many polygons?
Let's go with 100. Just try 100.
Okay, apply. And
Yeah,
as you
it
can see,
does.
we have, yeah. So we discovered something.
Yeah,
And
that's probably
this
a
is
quicker way of doing. Yeah.
this is the yeah, I was saying that there is no such feature here,
Yeah.
but there is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this one. This one might be new. That's why I didn't know,
Yeah.
because the topology is quite relatively new to Marvel Designer. But this is great news for you guys. So, well, as you can see, we are learning through those through those live streams and tutorials. So that's a great.
So that would then make it because what that's done. So if you zoom in on that a little bit on the pattern, so we can see the whole thing. So that's probably a better way of getting or establishing your base topology if you were going to retopologize, because it makes everything even. You know, the
Yeah,
distances between each of the, and then obviously with the stuff that's left that's messy, you can always tidy that up and clean it up. But that
yes, because
makes the
that's
go on,
mhm.
sorry.
No, that's the nature of Marvel's Designer and
Yes,
the topology. It's quite messy,
yeah,
and then
but
if you automate this one.
yeah, but this using this would make that easier to do because it's setting up your base structure
Hmm.
so that everything's relatively even.
Yeah, so you can clear those points,
So
merge
so
them.
what was that? You have your shape, and then
Hmm.
you go into
Let's go to the back, right?
yeah,
Let's click on it, right click, and remesh it to
remeshing to
retopology.
retopology,
And it was 100, right?
100,
Apply,
apply,
and you can see the back panel.
yeah,
It's retopologized.
yeah,
And of course, to make this change alive or live, you have to remesh or
yeah,
replace, right? Or duplicate.
yeah.
So replace this one, and yes, we
Oh,
have,
no errors either.
yeah, no crashes.
No,
Yeah, so the computer knows better, right?
yeah,
But of course, when you simulate,
yes, it's because it's not
it
been
flies
stitched.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you will have to just restitch or re-weld this in 3D Studio or any app you use. All right,
No,
so
well,
that yeah, that's a
that's pretty neat. Being able to just do a retopology like that.
yeah. You don't have to just do manually
Mm.
everything. You can just let's just repeat the step for this one. Remesh with topology and let's say match. Yeah, and that's the second one.
Yeah.
Apply, and of course remesh everything, replace, and well, you have low poly mesh.
So, Narcissistic's asking on the YubChub on YouTube. You mentioned earlier there wasn't enough fabric on the chest area. Can you feasibly add more fabric to a project, or must you start over completely? So it's just
Uh,
basically adding points, additional points.
yes, I mean you can add topology, right? If you are talking about topology, because
Mm.
those are two different things at the moment. Topology, you can add more points,
Yeah.
and if you want to add, let's just open a new file, project, and no, and let me just quickly return to the shared. Okay, and okay, so if you don't have enough fabric here, you can always go to edit pattern and let's say widen your shirt, right? So add something like this. And as you can see, you have more fabric here.
Right.
The more fabric you add, the more wrinkles you get, right? So you can make the shirt longer, and you automatically have more fabric. You can of course make it something like this. Of course, it's too high poly at the moment.
Yeah.
So let's just, for the sake of the
Demonstration
recording,
purposes. Yeah.
let's just reduce this one. And yeah, as you can see, okay, it's glitches, but it doesn't matter at the moment. So you have, as you can see, you have so much fabric that it makes and creates wrinkles,
Well, yeah, I mean,
right?
even though that's a relatively low res,
Yeah,
relatively
it's too,
speaking, it's still got some decent folds and things in the
yeah, yeah,
fabric.
it's 20, but it doesn't look when it comes to fold, of course, it doesn't
Mm.
look bad. I mean, you can go 15. Check what happens here. Yeah, and of course you can change the type of fabric, right? So if you click on the fabric and go to cotton, as you can see, it behaves better.
Mm.
Okay, you don't have so many glitches. So always
Yes.
change, apply your fabric, and then you can try to go. Let's say 10. Yeah. Now you have quite nice. Let's just remove the wireframe. Yeah, it looks nice, right?
Mm.
I mean, you could imagine that having something on IMVU, but
Mm.
it's it's too high poly.
Yes.
So
Which
this
is
is
why we've been doing the retopology.
yeah, that's why yes, of course. So you can go, let's say you can have low poly sleeves, but high poly areas where you want to highlight those wrinkles,
Mm.
right? So you can add more topology here and here, and of course the topology is just by adding those points. So clicked Shift and Control. Oh, let me just go to create topology to add. As you can see, if you are talking about not having enough fabric as in topology, this is their solution, right? Add more points. Of course, it's gonna create more topology and more polygons.
Mm.
All right, yeah. I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Yes. Well, she says she's going to show that to the person with the purse, with the money, persuade them.
All right, so I think that's everything I wanted to show you when it comes to topology in Marvel's Designer. So we
Nice.
discovered some nice features,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
you saw. I will just go and play with those
yeah,
features, with this feature, um, because it
yeah,
might be very helpful in my creations as well.
yeah. Well, there was an error. Well, not an error or an issue. There was something. Somebody asked a question in the Discord about the distance. They were having trouble with a clothing item
Mhm.
sitting properly on the avatar.
Yeah, I remember that one. And can I open this one? Okay, this is another shirt. So when you import your avatar, I don't change any settings. I import and everything as it is, and I never had problems before. But if you have problems with, let's say, distance, well, try to go and play with particle distance. That's the first one, and of course, remesh. Um, click on this one. Where is it? Okay, this is remesh. So undo remeshing and always remesh your mesh or garment because it's gonna create a new topology, right? As you can see. And what can you do? You can also add thickness collision. So let's let's try with 30, right? As you can see, it was probably
Oh,
something like this, right?
right. Yeah,
You can go with 0,
that's skin tight. Yeah,
but very skin tight. I
yeah.
always go with 2.5, and that's optimal. I think it's just
Right.
slightly, let's say, not touching your skin, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that one should always check those um, numbers when you just do and check pressure, right? Because it might be too high, as you can see.
Right. So it's
So,
it's additional thickness collision
hmm
and additional thickness rendering. Those are the two
yeah.
settings.
So always check those, and if you import your avatar, I usually I I never change anything, and always have proper settings like this. One more, you can go with simulation properties. If you have problems with simulation, right
Right.
click on your 3D view
Yeah.
and go to simulation properties. You will have all of your simulations here, so you can change even let's say uh, gravity. Yes, I was about to say this. So you can change the gravity. So you can create clothing that will be accurate on, let's say, moon, right? I'm not
Right.
sure what's the gravity on moon in numbers, of course.
Yeah.
So you can change it, and the simulation and all the fabric presets will behave differently. So if you type, let's say, uh, not minus, but just positive, something different will just appear. It might, of course, crash, but who knows? And of course, you have self collision interaction iteration count. Um, well, and not a lot of different features. So you have GPU simulation. So it's gonna you can change this one over here.
Right.
So GPU is of course faster,
Yeah.
and you can of course make this let's say fitting. It's accurate fabric, so it will just look a bit more accurate when it comes to real life
Right.
fabric. if you need, of course, such accuracy, so you can go with this one. I usually go with default or GPU if I have high poly mesh. And what else? Of course, this is CPU in usage. So it depends how many threads you have on your CPU. So I have 12, so it's
All right, so
maximum.
you'd have to go into your system properties on
Yeah,
your
and
operating
check.
system to check to
Hmm.
see how many.
So let's say if you have 6 core, you will have the 12 threads, right? Because it always doubles, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yes. Well, it depends on the process. So you've got your
Yeah,
i3, your i5, your i7s, and
yeah,
your
of course.
i9s.
So
Yeah,
the more powerful CPU, the less you have
yeah.
to use your threads. But of course,
I
and
don't know
yeah.
what it is on the Mac. That's the M1 and the M2 chips, so I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't have any experience when it comes to
Yeah,
Macs. So no, unfortunately, I won't be able to help with Macs. But it should be powerful enough, right, for
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
to use Marvel Designer and other apps. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's all of the main features we want to talk about today. Unless there are some questions or problems we could solve.
Um, I don't. Nobody's well apart from narcissistic. Um, no, that was pretty much it. It's just the retopology in Marvelous, using
Hmm.
Marvelous to see how that works, and then just that little issue that someone was having with the clothing being too far away from the avatar.
Yeah. All right. Great. So it was quite useful live stream even for me because we discovered this feature,
Yes.
and I'm really surprised and satisfied with this
Yeah.
one.
Well,
So
I
yeah.
mean I can see that tool just in of itself making the whole process so much easier of retopology just
Hmm.
because it's unifying the mesh in the sense that all the quads are all relatively the same shape and size.
Yes. Yeah. The one drawback is that it doesn't have such nice edges, right? When you create
Yeah,
them by hand,
yeah,
you already know where you want
yeah,
to place your vertex.
yeah,
And well, but you can also, as we've shown, you can manually edit those
yeah.
vertices. So
Well, like we were saying before, I mean, it's really a question. Your topology, generally speaking, for the game mesh, the mesh that you use in IMVU, that's going to be dictated really by uh, the density of the avatar mesh.
hmm,
Because
yeah.
if you go too high or too low, you're going to cause clipping, and
Hmm.
or you're going to cause issues with weight painting. You know, because you're making a lot of work for yourself when you, particularly with Blender. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course.
so much with Max because you have the auto skinning thingamajiggery.
Yeah, it is skin wrap
That's the one.
and yeah, you can make use heat map and
Yeah,
vertex something. I don't remember the
yeah,
name, but yeah, this is a very useful tool when you use 3D Studio Max. So that's the biggest advantage, I think, when it comes to 3D Studio Max. You can automatically weight right every vertex and
yeah,
apply uh, well changes to it. And there is this retopology tool, which is amazing. And when you create, let's say you create topology here, right?
yeah.
But in Max, as last time we in the previous video, we tried to show you that when you have faults, it automatically computes that this area needs more geometry.
Oh,
So
that's right.
so
Yes,
this part is less, it has
yes,
less vertices than this part.
yeah.
So this is a huge advantage of 3D Studio Max,
Mm,
and hopefully Blender will have such tools in the
mm.
future. It would be, I mean, I know it has, but you have to pay, right?
Mm. Oh yes, yes, the
So
retopology tool. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so it works nice. I saw this in action on videos, but it costs, right?
yeah.
So
Well, yeah. I mean, relatively speaking, it's probably a lot cheaper than Max.
oh yeah, of course. I think it was $60
Yeah,
for lifetime license.
yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure, but yeah. All right.
Right. Well, thanks very much for that. That was actually very interesting, seeing how marvelous does the retopology.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and we've discovered some new new things.
I wish we could I wish we could discover such features every time we do live stream.
Well, I mean, we've discovered quite a couple that in the
Yeah.
previous streams. So, yeah, it's just a question of playing around with it. It's asking the right questions and you know
Yeah.
finding the right tools to answer those questions, and then finding out that actually, oh, that's something we can use.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the cause because last I updated the Marvel's designer last week,
Ah,
so
okay,
maybe that's the cause.
maybe.
Well, it's I think it's 6.7 something, not
Ah,
the latest version because
yeah,
the fabric presets look different than the
right.
previous one. So you have the
Yeah, now I
graphic.
noticed. I was just
Yeah,
going to say I don't
yeah.
remember that from the
Maybe
last
that's
time.
why.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if the tool
yeah,
was
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but the
No, it
fabric is
wasn't.
different, right?
Well, that I don't remember that preview being there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
The preview is different, of course.
yeah.
And full fox. Well, I'm not sure if there was a full fox.
No,
All
I
right.
don't
Yeah.
remember that. Don't remember those at
Great.
all.
So yeah, always stay up to date, of course.
Yeah. Right. All right then. Well, thanks very much for that, Curoy. That was very interesting.
Yeah, and
Um,
thank you for your attention and staying with us and with the crushes,
yes.
right?
Yeah, with the crashes. Yes, the inevitable crashes. Yes, so we'll call it quits there, and we shall have another stream, another Creative in Residence number 12 next week. This is number 11. But
Yes.
we've just got to decide on what we're going to do. So, thanks very much, Curoy.
Thank you very much
Um,
for your
so
attention.
yeah, thanks, narcissistic, I should say. Um, Kakahoro, and I think that's it for this week. And all the lurkers lurking, we know you lurk. Um,
Yeah.
and all the rewatchers that stay to the end and watch it to the end. We shall see you on the next stream next week. So bye for
Yeah.
now, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.